Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. I am your host, Greg Fitzsimmons, and I am so happy to be talking to you. It's this podcast, in lieu of going on the road doing stand-up, this is in lieu of, I wonder if you're dating a guy named Lou and you break up and you go out with somebody new, would you say, I'm dating this guy in lieu of Lou? And maybe your name is Ruth, and he's going out, but he's going out ruthlessly. These are the kind of jokes you can expect on Fitzdog Radio. Nothing less. Joey Diaz is my guest today. Very excited. We recorded the podcast weeks ago, and it's finally airing. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later when I do a proper intro for Joey Diaz. In the meantime, I want to give a shout out to my daughter, who turned 17 today. Holy shit. I got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. I am an old man. Old man. And I just think about how much she's grown since she was 16 years old and how little I have. As you get older, the development, the milestones, the progress is minuscule compared to how it is when you're young. Like from 16 to 17, I was just thinking about this. She's almost become a woman. Like she was just a girl. And now she's a year from being able to move out of the house. She's got her senior year, which fucking who knows if she's even going to school for, whether she'll have a prom, what the world holds in store for her for the next year, whether she'll have a proper graduation or homecoming, any of that shit. Oh, poor thing. So she had her birthday. She's at the beach with her friends right now. As I was, me and the wife. If you live in LA, you know we finally got our summer weather here. It's been beautiful, but it hasn't been beachy. Now it's beach weather. 75 today. I've been in the ocean like every day this week. We live. It takes me exactly 5 minutes to get to the beach on my bike, and then dive in, riding some waves. Me and the wife were there, holding hands in the water. I threw her into a wave. She got a little upset. And now my daughter's there. She had her day. When you're in our family, you get a good day on your birthday. We don't fuck around. You get breakfast in bed straight out of the gate. I made her some grits with a lot of butter. She got some freshly cut honeydew melon, orange juice, black tea with honey and soy milk. No, oat milk, and then a chocolate croissant out of the oven. Baked chocolate croissant out of the oven. And then there's presents, and I gave her my poem. I read everybody a poem on their birthday. Funny ones. Don't think I'm getting soft. She opened some cards from her grandmother's, got a little cash, a little do-re-mi. And then she was off to the races with her friends. Who knows? Having fun. But think about the growth that she has made just in what she's learned. I mean, in her Spanish, how much her Spanish has grown, how much her understanding of calculus and science and relationships, how deep she's gone in some of them, and how she's had her heart broken in other relationships, all in the last year. The roller coaster ride that is a teenage girl. And then you think about what I've done. What have I done in this past year? You know? Like, think about the development. It starts, the younger you are, the more you develop. Like, if you're a baby, if you're a 1-year-old, it's like, okay, what'd you learn this year? Well, I developed 90% of my motor skills, the preliminary understandings of language, human empathy, how to swallow whole food for the first time. And let's see, what did I do between 53 and 54? Oh, I know. I learned how to swipe up on an Instagram story so you can go to a website from it. And that was it. That was it. So, happy birthday, JoJo. You wonderful girl. Almost woman. And what else is going on? We had a rat in the house. There's been a rat. First noticed it. Our fruit bowl was the rat took a bite out of each piece of fruit. Not one. Just eat a fucking plum and maybe we can hang. Maybe you can still live with us if you can eat one piece of fruit. Okay? But a bite out of 4 different pieces of fruit, I can't handle that. I can't hang with that. That's not cool. So I gotta turn off the sound. Yeah, there we go. So so I set some traps, which I felt horrible about because I don't like to kill. I think of rats as kind of cute and they're big, and I think I can kill over a certain size. And that's a pretty small size. Even insects. I don't like killing shit. I don't feel good about it. I don't think I could be a hunter. Don't think less of me, but I can't hunt. And so I put out these traps, and I put them out the first day, and there was, I put down peanut butter, and the rat ate around the peanut butter, ate around the trap, and ate the peanut butter in the trap. So I was like, all right, good for you. You did it. You did that. And so I went online to see what am I doing wrong. And they said, well, the rat, you know how we say we can smell a rat when we think something's up? Well, a rat can smell a human when there's something up. They can smell your oils on the trap, and then they know to be very careful. And so I washed the trap down, and I reset it using rubber gloves and a spatula. Or not a spatula, but some tongs. And I put it out again, and woke up in the morning, and there was a dead rat. The only solace I take is that thing came down hard. That mouse died instantly. Matt, did I say mouse? Rat. The small rat, luckily, wasn't too big. And I threw him out. But it's just amazing is that, like, it won't eat off a trap that it smells my oils on. Like, suddenly a rat gets particular. The same fucking rodent that's out there eating maggots out of a fucking steaming hot bin in the alley is suddenly particular about eating peanut butter because my finger touched it. I give them a lot of... Rats are pretty fucking smart. They shit, though. There was shit all over the house. When I used to live in... I lived in Little Italy in New York for a long time. And we had... I lived in a tenement apartment. It was from probably 1900, maybe it was built. And it was so old, it was like leaning. The whole thing leaned. If you dropped an orange on the floor in this apartment, it rolled to the wall. That's how slanted it was. And it had these tin ceilings that it was infested with mice. They wouldn't even run across the floor. They would fucking walk. They would walk and they would fucking look at you. Like, what? What? And so you could hear when I was going to sleep at night, you could hear their little claws on the tin ceiling above your head. And I knew they weren't going to fall through the ceiling, but it kept me up. I had this horrible, nightmarish, like right out of 1984, the book 1984, where they put rats in a cage on a guy's face. And I kept thinking that these fucking mice were going to land on my head. And you couldn't even set traps because there was thousands. Because half the building was owned by people. Chinatown and Little Italy are right on top of each other. And Chinatown sort of started moving up Mulberry Street and taking over more and more of Mulberry Street. So the bottom 2 apartments in the building were Chinese people. And they would hang fish out on clothing lines to dry. And the smell would attract, and they would clean fish. And there was a lot of mice because of that. Because the building was a million years old. What am I, blaming the Chinese? What am I, Trump? I blame China. for the corona and my mice. And so, yeah. That's the story. There's no big ending. Sometimes it's just a thought, you know. I got a note. I get a lot of notes from you guys. By the way, if you ever want to reach out, I'm at fitzdog@gmail.com, and I answer every piece of mail. I'm famous for that. It takes me a fair amount of time every day, but I like to do it. I love to hear from you. And I get my overheards. You guys send me things you've overheard, and you send me things that are sayings that your grandparents said or old people in general said. And sometimes just some notes. Adam Bean, who's a big supporter of the show, said that he noticed a car ahead of me has a brake light that is not functioning. The car was slowing to a stop at a red light. I pull up next to him, male in his 20s. I roll down my window, yell and wave. He turns and looks at me. I motion with my arm and hand like a car rolling down a window. Pantomime movement. He just stares at me. His eyebrows move, and that is all. He has no idea that my motion is a roll down the window motion because he's so young, he's never been in a car with manual windows. And that is so true. Like, it's one of the great advances. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to look at him and go like this with your finger? You're going to do a little budge with your fingertip to tell him to open his window? No. That makes it look like you're teasing them. Or it's like if you say to somebody, call me, you can no longer move your finger in a circle like there's a rotary phone. No, that doesn't mean anything. You can no longer take two hands and whip them up and down like you've got a blanket and you're sending smoke signals. Nobody understands anymore what that means. That was a stretch. Here's some sayings that people heard and they sent in. This is from Max Fisher. Not sure if that's his real name. If it is, congrats. You were named the same as the star of one of my favorite movies of all time, Rushmore. I assume it's an homage to Rushmore. He says, when my friend was taking too long carrying groceries, his stepfather said, hurry up. You're moving slower than steam on turtle shit. That's slow. That's slow. And shit in general cannot be rushed. It's slow. You can't if you are on the toilet and somebody goes, "Come on, we got to go." You just say in a very pleasant, metered fashion, you say, "Well, we'll leave when it's time to leave." A shit takes exactly the amount of time it's meant to take. And it's why we all love having our phones on the toilet, because it's the one time you really don't feel guilty about sitting still, doing nothing, and wasting time on the phone. Dave Cart says, whenever we had to get up early in the morning, my father would say, we have to get up at the crack of a sparrow's fart. He also said, whenever he wanted my siblings and I to get out of the house, he'd say, why don't you kids go outside and blow the stink off you? Which, by the way, a lot of these are from, I think, are descended from Irish and Scottish sayings, because when I was in Ireland, I felt sick one day, and I had rented a house for a month in the town that my grandfather was from, Kenmare in County Kerry. And I was sitting around feeling sorry for myself. I had a flu, and the guy who was renting me the house lived next door, and he comes in and he goes, get over yourself. Go outside and take a walk and have a good fart. Have a good fart. And I did. I went outside, and it was cold and drizzly because it was December. And I walked, and I farted again, and I felt really fucking good. And that walk got me better. Not that walk, but a series of walks after that. You can't lay still. You got to get the fart out. Go outside and get the fart out. This is from Megan Charlesworth. Hi, Greg. My dad was a third-generation Vermont dairy and maple farmer. Phrase to describe an angry woman. She's hotter than a half-fucked fox fleeing a forest fire. Wow, that's good. That made me sit right up. She's hotter than a half-fucked fox fleeing a forest fire. You got alliteration there, you got allegory there, and you got a curse word there. That's good shit. As an English major, I respect your dad. And I want to become a fucking maple farmer. I assume that means maple syrup farmer. Because that's easy. You don't have to herd a tree. You don't have to get up at the crack of dawn and feed a tree. You just stick something in it once a year and suck the goddamn honey out. This is syrup out. This is why I'm not a maple farmer, because I don't even know what you suck out of the tree. Alistair Simpson. My family moved to America from Scotland when I was young. Thought I'd add to the Scottish-Irish family sayings growing up, and I still use to this day. Enjoy, ye bow-bag-headed cunt. I don't know what a bow-bag-headed cunt is, but apparently I'm one. Don't get worked up, people. Cunt when you're from Scotland just means you're a pussy. Instead of calling someone crazy or an idiot, we'd say any of the following. Oh, that Fitzsimmons is well out of order. Yeah, they say that in Ireland too. A real numpty. A muppet. His booms oot the winday. His bums oot the winday. A cruel old man is always a codger, or in our family, a greasy sleaze. We also had, when I got my grandfather's, or it was actually the census from Ireland in 1911 that my grandfather's family was listed on. Each kid was listed. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but each family member was listed along the left. And then there were columns like, do they speak English? Do they speak Irish? Are they educated? Age? And the final column said, not making this up, check off imbecile, idiot, or lunatic. Yep. I like that there's so many ways of saying it, though, that are much more creative. In America, we pretty much just say asshole or douche. That guy's a douche. That guy's an asshole. And then we're kind of out of interesting words. Andrea Luck says, if a woman has very short shorts or a mini skirt, my mom says, I can see what she had for breakfast. That's foul. That's not a nice thing for your mom to say. What does that mean? What kind of mother do you have? I mean, some women, they read tarot cards or tea leaves. Your mom reads snatches. What's the worst word for vagina? I don't know. I heard, I watched, my daughter is very into watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and they use snatch. There was a name of a game they played, and the word snatch was in it as referring to women. And I just think, gay, black, transvestites can say fucking anything. I'm jealous. As a straight, white, middle-aged man, I've been given so much, but not the right to say twat. And I miss that. And it's not fair. It's not fair. It is fair. It's very fair. I've been given much. Sebastian Dumont said, my French grandmother, a proper southern France village lady, says, when describing a fucking idiot, quote, he did not invent hot water. Which in French, he tells me, is il n'a pas inventé l'eau chaude. He said, good luck reading that. Well, I don't need good luck reading that, Sebastian, because I studied French for 7 years. Okay? Failed it twice. The reason I took it for 7 is 2 of those years in high school, I failed it. I had a teacher named Dr. Lips something. And I remember it was lip something because he would get a dry piece of spittle on the tip of his lip, and then as his mouth opened and closed, it looked like a rubber band that was stuck there, and you couldn't study, you couldn't take in knowledge because you were staring at it, wondering when that fucking vibrating little rubber band was going to snap and hit somebody in the eye. And so I got kicked out of class. One of the things I just remember one of my mistakes was he asked me if I had a car, and I said, oui, j'ai une voiture. And he said, qu'est-ce que c'est? I forget, how do you say, what kind of car? And I said, c'est une vache, because I had a rabbit. I had a Volkswagen Rabbit, which I believe is lapin, but I said vache, which is a cow. I told him that I drove a cow. I don't think he threw me out for that, but didn't help. All right, a lot to get to. We're wasting time when you have the guest like Joey Diaz, who's my brother. He's a guy who has been one of my closest friends since moving to L.A. He is just a terrific dude. We taped this like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I mention that because, as many, if not all of you know, Joey has gone through some controversy recently based on a conversation or a little rant, a little riff he did on the Joe Rogan Experience going back like 10 years or something. And so I interviewed him, and this podcast, I record podcasts in advance because I freak out when I know I've got to scramble and get guests. So it's just coming up now, so I hope people don't think that this episode is, if it seems dated in some way, that we're not talking about what's going on with him, but it's just where it fell in the queue. So we didn't talk about it because you will hear during the interview, he talks about that day. He said this morning, something came out about him that he has to address and deal with. And he talks about it briefly, but it was the beginning of this saga. And my heart goes out to the guy because Joey, as it goes out to, look, people were affected by what he said in a way that if you don't know Joey Diaz, I can understand your anger. I can understand your shock. If you know Joey Diaz, you know there's nothing to be angry or shocked about. Joey is a character. He is a guy that goes on stage and he has and on podcasts with a certain persona that's fucking beyond outrageous. I think about getting mad at him would be like getting mad at, Archie Bunker or Carol O'Connor, or I don't know if that's a good analogy. I know that Joey has love and respect in his heart for women. I would not be airing this if I didn't think that was the truth. I would not be friends with Joey if I did not think that was the truth. I think I hold myself to a high standard of friendship, and I consider Joey one of my closest friends. And so so obviously there's a preamble to this podcast because I want people to know where this is coming from, that I think he's a loyal man. He's a family man. I've tried to sell shows with Joe. I tried to sell a show with Joey one time, and we were in the room pitching it with Mike Gibbons, him, and Mike Gibbons. And the show was about Joey's life. And he used the word cunt twice with female executives in the room. He doesn't know. He's a fucking Cuban who grew up in North Jersey, who went to jail for kidnapping. He's a fucking madman. But when he talks, he tells stories, and they are, there's a mythology to it. There's sentiments that may come out wrong that I know he would go back and probably change if he thought that they would affect people in a bad way. But it's all meant in comedy, and that's the way I think most people take it. And that's it. I love during the interview that they're on Zoom now. I can look up and notice that Joey lights a joint about 10 minutes into the interview and just sits there and smokes a fucking joint the entire time. What other occupation can you be in where at work you can light a joint and just smoke it? And the other guy doesn't even mention it. Like, it didn't even occur to me to say, Joey, you're smoking a joint. I'm so used to doing his podcast and watching him light. And this was a reasonable sized joint. I'm used to watching him smoke a fucking fatty. So I was supposed to go to Cuba first week of April, and Joey's aunt was going to pick me up at the airport, and I was going to stay with her. and his cousin was going to show us around Cuba, and the whole thing got canceled because of the coronavirus. But we're going to go back and do that soon. I hope soon. We'll see. Only nature will tell us. So here it is, my podcast with the great Joey Diaz. Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. There's a buzz in the air. People have been waiting for this podcast for a while. Joey Diaz, Greg Fitzsimmons together again. We're about 20 miles away from each other, but fucking real close.
Via Zoom. What the fuck is the world coming to? The Irishman and the Cuban on Zoom. What the fuck? How sad is this? But at least we get to see each other, spend some time, talk some shit.
There's a lot of shit to talk right now. Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Isn't it weird that there's never been so much going on in the news and so little going on in our personal lives?
Well, this is it. People get bored. They're home. They're angry. They're broke. They lost their job.
Right.
They're jilted. They didn't get their stimulus check. You know.
Right.
There's a lot of anger in the air. You know, add on what happened with George Floyd, rest in peace, add on Atlanta, add on Seattle, add on the COVID growth, you know, no baseball. There's a lot going on. People are bored. They're picking scabs. You know, people are going into stuff that I woke up this morning to bullshit, you know, that I said something on a podcast, that they're investigating it, they're looking for
No. Really?
Oh, hilarious. You know, what the rest of the world doesn't understand is before they comment, I mean, it's like we've forgotten. Like, I watched UFC, and then I would talk shit about the UFC, about the fighters. And I said, whoa. You're a fat fucking 50-year-old that's never done nothing in your life. So I went down there and I joined jiu-jitsu. And for years, I went to jiu-jitsu. I was no good at it, and I got a different respect to them, you know.
Right.
So it's like when you watch an announcer that never fucking lifted a weight, and he's putting down a football player, or a basketball player, or he's talking out of line. You sit
Joe
there and
Buck
go,
can suck my ass.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what we have here is some people that never knew what the Hollywood culture was, and now all of a sudden it seems like they're blown away from what the Hollywood culture is and how it started. I mean, they fucked Marilyn Monroe to death.
Yeah, right. The president.
50 fucking years ago.
president
All of
and
them.
his brother.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Hollywood, Sam Giancana, they were passing her around like fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Then you have the road work. The road world is a completely different road world. When Lee Syatt goes to Iowa, bumfuck Iowa, and Lee Syatt had 2 lines in Joker, 2 throwaway lines. He told the Joker, hey, you want a paper? That little role to us, to somebody in Iowa, is a star of a fucking movie.
That's right.
They show up on radio, and a lot of women show up to these shows. They don't know what to expect, you know. They either want your attention, they don't want your attention, and no matter what, you can't win.
Yeah.
You know, you feel, okay, I'm out on the road, I'm single. This chick wants to fuck. Let me ask her. She says no, and then 10 years later, it's going to be on fucking social media.
And no physical contact was made. That's
and no
crazy.
physical contact was made. So this is just little things that now. Listen, I'm 57. You want to cancel me? Cancel me. I was in the stand up is looking bleak.
Yeah.
If you're an adult and you have any brains to you, stand up isn't going to be around till fucking next year anyway. They're not letting crowds get together, especially here in California.
Yeah.
And in New York, they're not going to do it. They're just not. And Jersey, forget about.
Yeah.
They know that over 8 people is not going to happen. I'll give you an example. The Ha Ha Cafe was supposed to open up this week on Wednesday night. They posted grand opening show. They got a call within an hour. And then their argument was, well, we'll put them outside. You know what they told them? We don't want no gatherings over fucking 20 people.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in Brea next weekend.
Yeah.
Canceled. July 15th now.
Oh, no shit.
July 15th.
Now, you told me you're going to do Brea, every other Tuesday? You're going to do like a residency?
Yes. Every other Tuesday and one Wednesday a month in Oxnard. Because I'm not going to travel.
Yeah.
I went for a physical. COVID negative, antibodies, nothing.
How's
clean.
the AIDS?
No AIDS. The AIDS never showed up.
How did
thank
you
God.
never get AIDS? You were literally
I'm not
hunting for AIDS.
I'm not an intravenous user.
Yeah.
I was never a drug intravenous user. And believe it or not, I was first of all, I'm the type of guy that I could eat your pussy and we could 69 and I'm pretty good. I don't have to have penetration. If I don't have AIDS on my lips, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing coke and all that shit, your dick doesn't get hard enough to fuck sometimes.
Yeah.
What's
the hottest girl that you ever like? Fucking bought her some drinks, did a couple lines, lined it up, get to bed, and then you are a no-go. You are grounded.
Well, let's talk about cocaine for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not even going to say these words because I don't know how to say them. But let's just say a friend of ours' wife, a comic's wife. We go to their house all the time. We eat. She's a pretty girl. I'm smart enough. I'm not going to betray a comic and try to hit on his wife or whatever. But I go to fucking Florida to do comedy, and guess what? Your wife is down on a business trip.
Oh, shit.
Okay? And we start talking. Not your wife. I'm just talking about somebody's wife. And we start talking. And one thing leads to another. We all go to a bar, and then a package opens up. And she says, I haven't done coke since high school. Okay, it's time. She does 3 bumps. All of a sudden, you end up in a hotel room. And this is why I know from experience. I've been there 1,000 times. I've been in a hotel room with a woman that I thought I was just going to snort coke with.
Yeah,
started
right.
Out, I swear to my mother's grave. I swear to my daughter.
Yeah.
I thought that there was a friend I had in Boulder that she was really, really my friend. She was like a Felicia type friend, a Kate Quigley type friend, a Whitney Cummings type friend. We were friends. I knew her mother. I knew her father. I mean, we were friends. Give her 2 lines of coke at 4 a.m. Next thing you know, we're both fucking naked like nothing happened. And then we had this weird relationship that we'd hook up every Sunday.
Oh,
I'd
nice.
actually meet her at her mother's house.
Uh-huh.
Her mother would have a barbecue.
Yeah.
I would go over there, and she had a boyfriend, but she was such a little coke fiend and pill freak.
Yeah.
We used to buy roofies together.
No.
When was the last time you bought a roofie with a girl?
I've never.
It was
never
her
done
connection. It was her connection.
Yeah.
It was in Boulder behind the bus stop. There were some warehouses.
Yeah.
And the guy had like a warehouse filled with roofies. We would leave her mother's house, go to the warehouse on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Buy 2 roofies around 7, pop them, and then go on the hunt for coke, and then go out. And we'd end up back at my apartment doing the nastiest things you could do to each other.
You could get an erection after a roofie and lines of coke?
Oh, yeah. Like I did. Listen, let me put it this way. This is the type of guy I am. If we're straight up friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, and I get to know your cycle, I kind of leave you alone that week. I don't like period pussy. You know what I'm saying? I've never really, it's always petrified me. I know on coke, I've eaten period pussy. Just lick the clit and take the tampon and pull it back in and out. You ever do that? That's how crazy my life got. That I would just lick the clit, even though I don't like blood or nothing. I would lick the clit and then take the tampon and pull it in and out. And they go crazy because women really like to make love when they're on their period.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No, I think it's not when
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But when I did coke, I was all in. I was licking ass. It smelled like fucking, because when they have their period, their pussy smells like gunpowder. Like it smells weird. So you're reading that asshole, you're thinking of George Washington and cannons and fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're like, what the fuck? Why does George Washington keep popping into my head? You're thinking of Thomas Revere, whatever his name is. So when you do coke, even if it's somebody's wife, at 4 o'clock she gets sloppy.
Yeah.
Can I use your bathroom? They go to the bathroom, they come out, and all of a sudden their thong is out, and they're buttoning their pants. This is something you do in the bathroom.
Okay.
And next thing you know, she's like, did I ever show you my tits? And you're like, no, not really. And that's it. You know, that's what happens after 5 a.m. when you're alone with a woman. Everybody, you know. At first, I didn't know it could happen. I thought these were friends of mine. Yeah. And then after, you know, it was just constant, especially in Boulder. Yeah. In 94, 95. You know, it was really eye-awakening to what I had. I did not have a girlfriend. Yeah. I yearned for a girlfriend. I wanted to be in love. Nobody wanted to be in love. Yeah. Everybody wanted to do coke, fuck, and go on with their merry way. Yeah. Yeah. That was it. And at that time, I was using condoms. Yeah. When I was an open micer, you know, I would use condoms to the best of my, you know. When you're fucking on coke, your dick goes dead. The next thing you know, you're fucking, and you look down, and the condom's hanging out of their pussy like a fucking surrendered flag, and your dick is hanging there. It's dead. You know, so
it looks like one of those hats you see in a Rastafarian that's just drooping over on one side.
You know, we're living in the social media has gotten weird the last 4 weeks. Yep. Everything you post, every word is analyzed. Yep. And then they throw you little messages later on, and you're like, I cannot believe this. I've been posting this for years. But during this time period, because of what's going on in people's heads and anger and frustration, and, you know, now they get mad at it. You know, right now, you've been stuck in the house with your wife for 3 months. For years, she leaves a slipper on the floor. You don't give a fuck. You got other things on your mind. Yeah. Guess when it started bothering you? Yeah. Now.
Right. Right. So do you change? Because I look at you as you're a fucking warrior. When I look at guys like you and Burr and Rogan and Ari, you guys go at it, and it doesn't seem to affect you if there is somebody on social media that's saying shit. Is that changing for you now?
It's gonna all fucking. People are looking now. People are putting websites up now to say, hey, if Fitzsimmons ever wronged you, write a fucking note. Yeah. That's not, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, I got into an argument with this open micer. He wanted me to fire Lee and take him on the road. In his diverted mind through emails, he figured that if he moved out here, I was going to fire Lee. He would write me things, and Lee's gay, and I could take the podcast to the top, and I became friendly with the guy. You know, I kept him in check, you know, arm's distance, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it. He wanted the gate to be open for him. Yeah. Road work, bitches, blunts, Snoop Dogg, you know. Yeah. He thought there was something there that wasn't. Right. If you go on the road with me, I'm the most boring person in the world. Right. I sit in my room, I smoke joints, I go to the gym, I go to a nice restaurant, like whatever's like something local. To get the local flavor, and I'm back in my hotel room. Yeah. Those days of drugging and all that shit, those days are gone. Yeah. We smoke a joint after the show in front of the hotel, and then every man goes their own way. You get a bag of Doritos, and you take it to your room and watch Law and Order till
maybe
the phone
you spank
rings.
One out. You do that. The highlight is that spank that you do around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where you don't fuck around with tissues. You get, and not even a hand towel, you get the bath towel, and you drape that thing from your chest down to your balls, and you get lotion. I'm a dry guy. I usually just, I don't use anything. When I'm in a hotel, I get that lotion. I fill my hand with that shit.
That's disgusting. That is really fucking disgusting. You can't be a normal Catholic and just go in a shower, hotel shower before I'm leaving. I get on the floor, I bang one out, I come on my own stomach, I loofah it off. It's good loofah chemicals and sperm. I don't put it on my face just in case it attracts different people. You know, gay men could smell that sperm on your cheek, and they go fucking bananas. It's like cologne.
Yeah.
You
it's
take
like
a little
Chanel.
sperm, you put it on your fucking neck. It's like high karate. Next thing you know, fucking, you got gay men. You're at an LGBTQ parade. You're playing the drums for the Go-Go's. You know. We got to have some fun, Greg Fitzsimmons. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down in flames. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck no more.
The worst about the shower spank is that when the sperm gets in the hairs in your leg, it sticks on. It holds
Fucking
on.
leave them there. It's like cells. I like those.
Yeah.
I carry those around for a couple days. I don't have no hair on my legs. But you can't jerk off standing up because you'll slip and break your neck. That sperm is slippery. Once it hits the water, it's like fucking forget oil and black ice. You put some sperm on the road, I'll give you 22 accidents in the winter. You know what I'm saying? That sperm has a different slippiness to it. Even when you come on a woman's titties, you give her a shower. Later on, touch the area where you came. It still has a certain fucking like oil slick to it. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, you got to invite Exxon to come over and take it off. I come on my stomach, it goes in my belly button, I leave it there. Who gives a fuck? Let it pile up.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand people that have to use lube. It's like get a little action coming out of your own dick. That's God's lube right there.
I don't know what people are talking about. I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. I do everything with my right hand, but I bang them out with my left hand so I can point at you. You know what I'm saying? With the right. I can point back at the crucifix. Don't be looking at me while I'm banging that one. You filthy cocksuckers.
What about the grooming? What do you do? Talk to me about the grooming of your undercarriage.
Manscaped.
Oh, that's right. I've seen you do those ads.
I manscaped the other day. There was so much. You know, when you scratch your balls at night, your ball hair gets dry around your dick.
Yeah.
There's no conditioner.
Yeah.
So it feels like the hair Carrie's mother had. Remember Carrie?
Right.
In the movie, her mother had that little dirty white people hair. That's like a fucking straw because they don't use conditioner. So if you go around your dick, that hair grows when you're 50 and it gets all fucking dry. So I take that Manscaped, dog, and those gray hairs are hard to come by. You hit those motherfuckers, it sets Manscaped back.
Yeah.
And then I shave once a month. I shave all around. I look at that fucking toilet. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's 1,000 little. I saved them once, and I fucking put them in a Valentine's Day thing. Like a little chocolate box. I had a heart, and I fucking put them in there and just saved them for a few months. Then my mother found them, and my wife found them. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I was using it for a video. She goes, "What is this? Eyebrows?" I go, "Listen, if I had eyebrows like that, I'd be making $1 million a night." You know what I'm saying? Those are pubic hairs. She just dropped the box. She goes, "Why are you saving your pubic hairs?" I don't know. It's like, it'll be Santeria. I'll throw it at people. Once comedy comes back, I'll sell it after as merch. Can you imagine selling pubic hairs as merch? That's my next move. I'm going out the box.
You got the
$5
your
for
fungus,
a bag of fuck.
You got your fungusy toenails sitting next to it. I know you got those nasty toenails.
I got one toenail that I sand down. I let it grow out for about 2 or 3 weeks. I don't look at my toes, and then I go back and I fucking I cut the toenail.
Yeah.
I cut the V in the middle, so there's no ingrown toenail, no matter where the fungi takes you.
That's a military cut.
And the fungi grows under the toenail, so I have to pull back and go in there and take out the chunks, cut the chunks. I cut the chunks, I cut my toenails, and then I sand them all down with a buffer. I sand that fucking fungi toenail. I get like 1.5 grams of dust, of toenail dust. I put it in a little pile like my cocaine days, and I just sit there and smell it like fucking, it's horrible. And then I blow it onto the carpet. The next morning, my wife will come on. She goes, "Something smells weird in this living room. It's fucking mold. It's fucking, that is the worst smell in the world." I put it once in one of my joints and smoked it with Lee. We were both passed out for 2 fucking hours.
How do you even get down there? No offense, but you're not a skinny guy, is it?
I'm a flexible dude.
Are you? You can get down there?
It's really crazy. All those years of karate in the beginning, I always stretched. And even when I was 400, I would go home at night and do actual split stretches.
You were 400?
I was 418.
No,
that's where I started.
Shit.
After the longest yard, I blew up to 418,
Damn.
416. When you go on a scale and it just hits 260 real quick.
Yeah.
Like it's just, and the thing is trying to push the wall down. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know. I had to go to Rouse to get weighed one time. Justin Fortune. And that's how I started my journey. By the time I got the Weight Watchers, I was 376.
Yeah. And what are you at now?
296. I want to be away from 300.
So what's your magic number? Are you just happy where you are?
I'm not happy where I am. I want to go down to 265. That's why I've been riding the bike in the mornings to get my metabolism back up. But the 50-year-old metabolism is a hard metabolism.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. To people. I had an uncle who once told me that after 50, when you drink a glass of water, you gain a pound. You know?
Yeah.
And, but we try. You know, I stick to my Weight Watcher points. I didn't have a good day yesterday. Yesterday was a bad day. I didn't eat sweets, but I didn't have a good day yesterday.
Right.
My wife bought fried chicken out of all the things. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great either.
Right. And then what about vitamins? You got...
I got a lot of vitamins. I take a multivitamin for men over 50. I take vitamin D, 4,000 IUs. That's important.
Take those
now.
Every day, yeah.
I got sunburnt to the fucking... I mean... Level fucking 3. This is the second layer of skin that's growing. My wife was pulling it off my back in sheets.
Oh, lucky her, man. That's my
sheets.
That's my dream. There's nothing I like more than feeling
I took a piece
sunburn.
and threw it at Lee. Lee picked his arm up to block it, and it went in the hole of his armpit shirt into his stomach. My dead skin. I loved it. And I could tell I'm coming up. My skin is like gray, so the black of me is coming out like my skin when I peeled it off. And last night my wife goes, "Oh my God, you're starting the second peel."
Nay.
And I had put SPF on. I had put everything on. I got sun poisoning that night. That was a week ago, Wednesday, and it was the weirdest thing because I do what I constantly do when I go to the beach. And I was at the beach the week before. Sun was out, no burn. It's that there's no pollution, so the sun is strong.
Oh, no shit. Well, I didn't know that. What beach you go to? You go down to Santa Monica?
Ventura.
Oh, you go all the way out. Yeah.
The closest people close to me is 60 yards.
Yeah.
It's a non-COVID beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like Florida or Santa Monica. You know, you go to Santa Monica, Malibu, you're going to sit next to somebody.
Oh yeah, no, we go down to Venice Beach, and it's I don't sit on the sand.
That's where they sent COVID direct from Hong Kong.
Venice
Beach.
I
wouldn't go there either. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
No disrespect. I heard Venice is where the second location where the COVID fucking Chinaman dropped the box off. It was in Venice.
Yeah, they didn't even bring the guy. They brought that actual little aardvark thing. They brought the bat and the aardvark, and they let him just hang out on the sand.
Yeah, but we're living in weird times.
Let me ask you this: the DACA thing happened today, where the Supreme Court shot down Trump's plan to deport all of the undocumented immigrants' children. Were you technically DACA, or were you naturalized?
I have no fucking idea. Ask my mother; she's dead.
You don't know if you're legal?
It's 1966. I don't even know if there was DACA.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if there was DACA.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Next question. What are you bothering me for my immigration status? Next thing you know, I'll be in Russia because fucking Fitzsimmons wanted to talk to me about immigration status.
I'm dropping a dime on you on Fitzdog Radio. All of a sudden, there's a knock on your studio door.
No, because it's really
You're like
weird.
a little Elian Gonzalez. Lee is fucking holding on to you like he's Elian's dad.
I live in hell because of my parents.
Yeah.
They were undocumented, and they opened up businesses, and they paid taxes. They did everything right, but I don't know about their documentation. You know, my wife is a fucking savage on the computer.
Yeah.
And she got OCD. So when she starts looking for something, she'll find it. And one night she came to me, she goes, I found your uncle going through Ellis Island, but there is no record of your mother and father ever touching Ellis Island.
Yeah.
And I knew that for a fact. They did something kinky.
Yeah.
They flew in, because my mother had an alias because she killed somebody in Cuba when she was 14.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
A guy that was trying to rape her sister, her older sister.
Right.
Talking to my uncle last night. If you're in Cuba and you get caught without a face mask, $1,500, and they throw you in jail until your family comes up with it. First of all, nobody has $1,500
right.
in the whole island of Cuba.
Right.
Maybe half the Cuban population had $1,500.
Yeah, right.
That's how seriously they took COVID in Cuba.
Yeah. No, they did the same thing with AIDS. They were the most successful at shutting down AIDS. They had
shutting it down.
They had a fucking jail. I think if you had AIDS, they put you in it.
100. And my other cousin, I told you, my family is fueled in Cuba.
Yeah.
He was telling me last night, if you get sick, just go to Cuba.
Yeah.
You were born there. He goes, you could go back. And because he goes, our niece, my other cousin, is the head of the hospital. And she goes, they'll be waiting for you with open arms, and they cure everything. He goes, the Cubans are different from the Americans. They don't give you a pill. They don't give you pills. They treat it. You go home, there's no pills.
How do they treat it? What do they do?
They just go after whatever problem you have.
Yeah. Dude,
listen, they smoke cigars 22 a day.
Yeah.
Go check the cancer rate in
Right,
Cuba.
right.
Okay? Desi Arnaz was smoking 5 a day. I watched his autopsy last week.
Yeah.
Desi Arnaz, listen, this is the weirdest fucking thing. Desi Arnaz smoked 5 Cuban cigars a day. He developed lung cancer. The form of cancer he had it was slow cancer.
Yeah.
With treatment and chemo, it would have slowed it down. What triggered it was a fungus he caught as a kid working at his brother's zoo. His brother had he sold animals.
Yeah.
He used to clean the canary cages. Canaries are the only fucking bird that in their species they carry a fungus. He breathed that fungus in. It stayed dormant until he became 70 years old, and he got the cancer.
No
and
shit.
That fungus mixed with the cancer made the cancer explode. He died 9 months after he got.
So they did an autopsy and they went in his lungs and they found traces of that canary fungus? Damn, that's fucking crazy.
No, they found an interview of him on Dinah Shore talking about him living in Cuba and what he did as a child. He was my first hero. I always went on stage and I go, and I go, Cubans have no heroes. And I thought about when they said the Desi Arnaz autopsy on Sunday on Reels TV, and I watched the autopsy, and as they were talking about him, I just started crying because I went back to being 5 years old and going, oh my God, I'm not that weird. There's one of us on TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's one of us on TV. So I don't know what these motherfuckers are talking about. I'm a spick.
Yeah.
There's one of us on TV. He fucking carried me all those years.
Right.
And I became obsessed with him. And it's so weird how your life works. That the obsession I had with him was that he had been sent to the United States without his family. When his family didn't fight the Batista regime. First of all, Desi Arnaz came from money. His family was involved with the Bacardi people.
Uh-huh.
But before Batista, there was a guy that was a bigger scumbag than Batista. And as they were switching regimes to Batista, Fidel's father feared for his son. So he sent him to a private school in Florida. And he couldn't come back. He was on his own. It's like you going to your kid, listen, you got to go.
Right.
Remember Superman when he put him in the missile?
Yeah.
And he gave him that speech, I give you all my power. When Marlon Brando dropped it on him, I give you all my powers, I'll always be with you. And he hugged him. That's what they did to Ricky. They were like, you got to go before the shit gets. So they sent him to a private school. So his first Christmas at the private school, everybody's going home for Christmas. And one of the kids goes, oh, what are you going to do? And he goes, I got nowhere to go. And the guy goes, what, are you kidding me? Come home with me. That was Al Capone's son.
No shit.
So Al Capone's son brings this fucking Cuban into his house thinking there's going to be racism. You know,
Yeah.
the fathers are going to be, what? You bring a spickaroo in my house?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? It's 1943. You know, these people are unheard of. You know, they're
Yeah.
tan skin.
Yeah.
Capone fell in love with him.
This is in Chicago, I guess.
In Chicago, then they went back to parochial school, and Capone and his son were friends. And years later, when he couldn't bust into the New York scene, he called Capone. And Capone fucking made a call and got him a job in New York. And the rest is history.
No shit.
The rest is history.
Damn.
The rest is history. So it was like, oh my God, when I read that, I was like, that is fucking mind-boggling. So I always became a fan of his, you know.
Dude, how is there not a biopic of Desi Arnaz? And then you talk about cut to later in his life where he was the first person to own his own sitcom. He was the first guy to set up a production company. He was the first guy to do a multicam sitcom shot on tape. It had never been shot that way before. He was groundbreaking.
He was groundbreaking. Can you imagine sitting around with 18 smart white people and going, why are there 17 white people standing there and they're shooting with one camera?
Yeah.
Because they're all geniuses.
Right.
You go on a set, everybody's a genius.
Right.
The director with the hat with the feather.
Yeah.
And then comes the spick mentality. I got 18 guys on a clock.
Yeah.
Give them cameras.
Yeah, right.
Give them cameras. Oh, my God. What a great idea.
Yeah.
So you, for 20 years, you've been doing TV with one fucking camera at a time.
Yeah.
Comes a spick that knows labor. We know labor. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like I'm paying 17 stiffs to stand there.
Yeah.
And all be geniuses. Give him a camera. Put him over there. You stand there and give him a camera. But I've never worked a camera before. But what are you doing stand there like fucking Johnny Metropolis? Get over there with a camera.
Johnny Metropolis.
Yeah, everybody's Johnny Metropolis in L.A. You know, they got to analyze the cut. When they come up to you and do this shit, that's what I'm like, what are you seeing?
Dude, that's like
Don't
when I see a work site, when I see them building a house and there's a white crew, it's exactly like that. One guy's got a fucking a drill gun, and three guys are standing around watching him. You see a Mexican site, you got 8 fucking guys
Everybody's
all
digging.
working nonstop.
Everybody's digging like El Chapo.
Right.
They're digging caves.
Right.
They're hitting sidewalks.
Yeah.
You got 8 white people that are sitting there deciding what's the next move, waiting for Moses to come out of a tree.
Yeah.
Let's go. I want to see nothing but assholes and elbows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's go. There's no and then they talk.
Yeah.
Nothing bothers me when people are working and they talk. I'm not paying you to talk.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you to watch TV. Shut the fuck up. I used to hate having menial jobs, and there was always one guy that was a talker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is there to talk about? Pick up the fucking piece
He's
of
playing
paper.
with the radio. He's got to change classic rock stations every time there's a
Nothing bothers me
commercial come
more than
on.
that shit.
Yeah.
I used to work on a roofing crew,
Yeah.
and we made a pact one day. We said, listen, this is what we're going to do. Everybody else is doing 20 yards a day, 20 square feet a day. We're going to do 40. We had to go up there at 6, break the old roof, throw it into a dumpster. We'd be standing on planks. We put insulation down, put rubber down, flash it, and we had to be ready by 3 o'clock because at 3 o'clock the stones came. They were ballasted roofs. And then there were 6 of us, and the fucking rocks came on a propeller belt. There ain't no stopping that belt. There ain't no brakes. It's 45 minutes of rocks coming. So you got to run and get those rocks with a wheelbarrow and then run to the farthest end of the roof and drop the rocks and run back with the wheelbarrow. And there was always that one guy that had to stop to look around.
Yeah.
Bro, me and my buddies would sizzle them because it was me and my brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
And then we brought like 2 Irish dudes in from Jersey to work because no immigration, just fucking, they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But then we hired this one hippie from Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Biggest problems ever.
Right.
The Irish, they knew how to work. They were Scottish. They knew how to work.
Yeah.
They didn't give a fuck.
Pale
They didn't
skin,
give a
standing
fuck.
on
They
a
didn't-
fucking roof for 6 hours a day.
They didn't give a fuck about asbestos.
Yeah,
You know.
that's
The
right.
white hippie, oh my God, every day he had a new story.
Yeah.
Well, if the sun is facing us, we might get sunburn. Here's these 6 white guys, you know.
Yeah.
So that shit's always, there's always that one fucking.
Wait, but just going back
sack
to
of shit.
Desi Arnaz for a second, have you ever
Go
thought
ahead.
about producing a biopic of Desi Arnaz?
Listen, I'm on the brink of getting canceled, okay? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're all on the brink of getting canceled.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get an outline for my book for Audible.
Yeah.
And you want me to fucking a biopic about Desi Arnaz. Give me a fucking break. You're another one. Everybody wants to go outside their comfort range, throw a year and a half of their life away.
Yeah.
And then there's no results, you
Right.
know. The other day, a guy called me who put me through the ringer for a movie he was going to do with Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle and the dude from 30 Rock, the fat black dude, Craig
Morgan, Tracy Morgan?
No, Craig Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
He called me the other day to say hello. I go, what happened to that fucking movie? You know, the people who were going to fucking finance it were the same place where they invented COVID in the laboratory, so they lost. Yeah. You know, you read for all this bullshit. People come to you with all this. For every 10 things they come to you, one thing gets made. You know, it's like one thing gets made. So I don't have time to do a Desi Arnaz biopic. I'm trying to write a book 7 years now. 7 fucking years. I feel like the what's that fucking scene? When in The Sopranos, when what's his name from Boardwalk Empire gets out of jail, and they all go to Artie Bucco's restaurant, and Artie Bucco says to him, "I got some nice peppers for you. I've had them roasting for 15 years." You know what I'm saying?
That was a great fucking episode. I remember that one.
That was a great episode.
So, talk to me about this book, and why haven't you sent me a fucking draft so I can take a look at it? Maybe I could help out.
Because I am the worst writer in North America.
Right, so you need some help.
You know what, man? I wanted to. This was one of those things that I didn't want to. I'm sick and tired of people making other people do the work for them.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to learn. When I first wrote a blog years ago on MySpace, I got yelled at every week for being stupid. You know, I haven't written since high school.
Yeah.
You know? So over the years, you know, every day I keep a journal. I keep a journal for my daughter. So if I die, she knows the truth. And then I work on this book. I'd write a chapter here, a chapter there, and I'd go back and read it the next day, and it was an hour of cleaning up what I wrote the day before.
Yeah, that's what it is. Writing is rewriting.
Which was pure fucking garbage, you know, and I kept doing it. And I was really, just for my personal goals, I was like, I'd really like to write a book, you know. But you and I both know if you write your book, you don't get a big advance. They want you to have a ghostwriter. And one night I was like, why am I doing all this fuss to write a book? Well, I've been doing a podcast for 7 years. They're already used to my voice. Why don't I just do the audio book?
Yeah.
My agent didn't at first he was like, well, you get more money. It's not about the money. It's about getting the story out there.
Yeah.
So I've been outlining it to the T, you know, just as much as I could outline it right now. There's nothing to write, Fitzsimmons. It's just how I tell these stories.
So when you do the audiobook, you're not going to go word for word off the page. You're going to use your outline and tell the story. Right. No, that's you. That's exactly right.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Right.
I can't. It would listen right now as it is. I'm up to 1985, and there's 16 chapters.
Shit. Jesus.
So I still got to do another from 85, and I got to pick up Turning Point where I cut it off. So I'm going to try to outline as much as I can, put it down. They told me I got 12 hours of talking. They could do 2 6-hour books.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what my project is the whole summer.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear of shooting the couple days in The Sopranos, which I hope we do, because it'll be my last shoot for sure. I'm not going to shoot in this COVID shit.
Yeah.
You know, there's too much testing. Look, they started soap operas. They had to shut them down.
Did they?
Day. Because SAG ain't fucking around.
Yeah.
Listen, if you got COVID in February on the set, it's a shame. But now they're making people sign shit. SAG's not letting you sign whatever they give you.
Right.
SAG's sending you an email every day going, don't sign dick, don't work on this project, don't do this, don't do that. So I read the SAG protocols. This is coming out of somebody's money. You got to have two COVID specialists on the set. And what they do is they differentiate who's in the A zone, the B zone, and the C zone. No more craft services. No more eating with the crew. You eat in your locker by yourself with a plane. They're gonna pick up the slack from the people who do the plane industry. The people who are feeding you on the plane, since they're dying, Hollywood's picking that up. You're gonna test 3 times a week if you're one of the main actors. And I don't know yet if they're talking about not being able to go home.
Right.
So
I heard they also wanted people to come in and quarantine for 2 weeks before shooting. And then they're going to take your temperature every day when you get to the set.
So how much are you going to pay me for a month of my life?
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's pretend we're going back to Crash now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the show you were on?
Crashing.
You can't go home to see your family for 9 weeks.
Right.
Once you go there, you're going to all be in the hotel. You're going to be in a certain van, 4 years in a van. You know, they can't do this. It's too costly.
Yeah.
It's too costly. You know, the tests, the breaking them up into 2 zones. And then I got 2 guys telling me, "Oh, Lee and Joey, you're too close."
Yeah.
That's what the one guy's going to be there to do. One guy's monitoring, and the other guy's going to be saying, the cameraman is too close to the second AD.
Yeah.
We want the second AD to stand over there. This is going to be a nightmare. You can't shoot long days no more.
There's going to be no love scenes. There's going to be no intimacy. No couples holding hands.
So where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Me? Throw the thing in animation for right now.
Sure.
Let Steve Harvey do 20 fucking game shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let, you know, Mama June, put her on. She's doing Met. You know, put her on. Put on all those shows, you know. But everything else, it's going to be a nightmare to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, animation. Animation is the key.
As an actor, I can't see myself wanting to get into that position.
You do you do voiceovers for animation, though, don't you?
Yes, I'm starting to do more.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God that's saving me.
No, we got to think of some animation that comedians can do. Like my friend animated a few spots for me of just I told some road stories, and he did some animation, kind of like that guy Paulie Toon.
Yeah,
he does a great fucking job. But Paulie Toon needs to get a series going where he just takes pieces of podcast stories and puts them in a fucking half-hour show.
Again, a lot of people got to do a lot of things. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have you got to worry about what's in front of you right now. You know, my wife wants to leave.
She wants to go where?
She wants to move.
No shit.
Yeah, this is bothering her. This is the whole school situation is bothering her.
Yeah.
So I called my buddy in Colorado. His wife's a principal. And he told me, he goes, it ain't going to be no better here because they're going to go back to school in September. For sure. But for 4 weeks to get trained on how to do homeschooling for the rest of the year. His wife is a principal. So a lot of places this year, you know, they're looking at it as cutbacks too.
Right.
In the community. They don't have to go to school. We don't have to pay that many teachers.
You don't have to air condition the school. Right.
Have to air condition the school. But at the same time, I can't have my daughter getting 2 hours of education a day.
Right. Right.
It's 2 hours on the computer.
What grade is she going in?
Second. And this is, you know.
That's a lot of learning happens in second. Yeah.
First grade is one thing. I get first grade.
Right.
But second grade is now we're talking 2 times 4 is 8. You know.
Yep.
We're hitting it. I prep her. You know, I'm a junior bookie. So all day long she's getting hit with numbers by me. I got her on the STAR program. Every once in a while I just bust out 5 arithmetic problems and give it to her.
Yeah.
5 division problems.
Yeah, that's great.
5 multiplication problems. You know, I'm not trying to bust her ego, bust her balls.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep her sharp.
Keep her sharp. Right.
How to do math. You know, how to do math on the roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
How to do it as you're having the conversation. Yeah. As they're telling you, well, we're going to pay you $640 a day. That's $320. Plus the $64 to my agent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do I get out of $320? What do you do? Why are you bringing me this offer of $320? I got to sit there next to people I don't like. While we're talking, you're already thinking, where does it shoot? Connecticut. Oop, that's another strike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, how long do I got to be there for? 8 weeks? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want her to think on the roll. I grew up in numbers.
Yeah. Well, your mom was a bookie, right?
And the numbers racket. I grew up working it. I grew up around it. I grew up talking it.
Yeah.
I grew up talking gambling. So gambling is $30 for 5-time parlay to lose, 70 to win. You know, so what do you need to win? I need to make $500 from my rent. Let's pop a 10-time parlay. You know what I'm saying? Let's. You gotta know the math right off the fucking top.
Yeah.
10-time parlay, 300 to lose, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was a 5-time parlay is 30 to lose, 70 to win.
Yeah.
So a 10-time parlay is 60 to lose, 140 to win, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, and you just learn how to spit it out fucking as you're going with it.
There was a woman I know your mom was a bookie, but there was a woman in my neighborhood. I lived on Mulberry Street in Little Italy for about 10 years. And there was a woman every fucking day, Gina. She had this fluffy dog, and she'd walk past the Shark Bar, and she'd walk past Bella's. And as she did, people would see her. They'd come out on the street, and they'd give her $5 or $10 to play the number. And they tell her the number. And if you don't know, the number in New York is you play a 3-digit number. And if it hits, you win. I forget how much you win. Maybe it's like the true odds would be 1,000 to 1. They pay you like 500 to 1. And
so if you bet $1 on a number, you win $500.
Yeah.
If you bet $5 on a number, you win $2,500.
Right.
The bookie really pays out 3. The bank pays out 3. The bookie keeps 5 off the top, and then you have to tip them from your $2,500.
Yeah.
So I'm happy if you hit the number with me. I'm happy because I just made money.
Yeah.
Especially if you blasted it for $10. That's $5,000 I got to give you, but I'm really getting $6,000.
Yeah. Right. And so people would give her the number, and she didn't write shit down. She had a photographic memory, and she walked around collecting numbers all day. She knew how much you paid. She knew your number, and she did it for 10 years, every fucking day.
First of all, people play the same number every day.
Yeah, right,
it's their lucky number.
Yep.
It's the last 3 digits on their father's death certificate. It's the last 3 digits of their birthday.
Yep.
I'm born May 17th. Give me 517, straight in box, $5. So I already know. My mother was 604, 517, and whatever number I had on. What's that shirt you have on? It's number 22. Give me a prefix. 5. Give me 522, $5. Just because he had a fucking shirt. Then they have a book of dreams. I had a dream I was a farmer. You look at the book. I had a farmer. That's 64. Give me a prefix. How many kids you got? 3. 364. Give me $5. $5 straight in box. Because it's a daily.
The Book of Dreams. Where's the Book of Dreams come from? Is it just made? Was it some Cajun shit?
It's a book called The Book of Dreams.
Yeah.
And it translates your dream into the number. I just had the picture on my phone, and I ran out of, because I shoot my daughter's podcast down here.
Yeah.
I ran out of space, so I took the list down.
Yeah.
And it's called La Charrada to Cubans. So every number has a meaning.
Yeah.
33, tu madre puta y la gañosa. So if somebody plays number 33, your mother's a whore, and she's got long eyelashes. Don't ask. That's just the mentality. So if I want to play, if I'm on the phone with you, and I want to play 533, I'll say cinco, tu madre puta y la gañosa. So you know it's 33. So if the cops are listening, they don't know what number you play.
And then here's the crazy thing. If people want to know what the number is, you get the New York Post and you look up the purse at Aqueduct, and it's the last total, 3 numbers.
The total mutual. It's called the paramutual of the day. So you can't fix it. It's what the track made for the day.
Yeah.
It's unfixable.
Right.
You know, if I'm Houdini, like I knew people who ran that fucking scam, and they put white gloves on like they were a magician.
Yeah.
But they'd have magnet in their fingers, and they put magnet in the balls, and then the ball goes right up to your fingers. 6, 5, 4. So you know they'll tell you the night before. Listen, the magic numbers are 612. How they're gonna come up, nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's your job to go down to the liquor store and bust a Hindu's ass and sit there for an hour, just rotating wheels at them. 612, 216, 612, 216, 126, 162. 6-1. And you just keep running wheels at this motherfucker. Good. And in my butt.
The guy's fucking eking out a living, trying to live the American dream.
This poor Hindu's trying to learn English, and you got to go in there and be fucking Johnny Calculus. You're just hitting him with numbers. I'm going to tell you who has the hardest time in the world. What's that chick on the phone that you call her and ask her stupid questions? Siri? What's the chick on the phone?
Siri.
What's the chick on Siri? Nobody tortures Siri like my daughter. Kids do not know how to talk to Siri.
Yeah.
The other day I heard her talking to Siri, and I heard Siri tell my daughter to go fuck herself. That's how many questions, because my daughter, my wife told my daughter that it'd take 2 days to get to Tennessee. So my daughter busts into the computer room. I'm sitting there, and she's like, Daddy, Mommy says this take 2 days to get to Tennessee. Do you know how long it would take to take a bus there? And I go, well, let's find out. There's an app you go to.
Yeah.
There's a page that tells you distance. Tells you how many gallons of gas you're going to use specifically. How long it's going to take you to drive there. If you do,
I think it's AAA. I think it's on the AAA site.
Yeah, I think it's AAA site. It tells you exactly how many gallons of gas, total mileage drive, So she goes, oh, my God, it's really 19 hours to Nashville. So all of a sudden she's like, wait a second. Siri, how long does it take to roller skate to Nashville? And Siri was like, it'll take approximately 999 days. And she goes, that's wrong. She started arguing with Siri. And she's like, what if I had one leg? And Siri's like, well, if you had one leg, that means you went to Iran. It was constant. My daughter busted Siri's balls so hard. She didn't know she was busting Siri's balls. She thought Siri was a lot quicker than that. She's like, Siri's Buddha. So my daughter's like, so how long does it take to fly to Tennessee by helicopter? How long does it take to do this to Nashville? And Siri finally goes, fuck you. My daughter's like, Daddy, Siri won't answer no more. Siri tapped out. Siri said, fuck it. I've never been.
This
kid's like one of those things. One of those things that Chinese people are good at.
The Rubik Cube?
Yeah. She's like, this kid's a Rubik Cube. This is a fucking ball busted. I hear the other night my wife goes in there, she's crying because Siri won't find the right song for her. She's not cursing out Siri, but she's telling Siri like everything. Siri, what is wrong with you? It's an easy song. It's the Nolan brothers. What's those three little fag brothers that sing?
The Jonas Brothers?
Yeah, it's a Jonas Brothers. And Siri's like, they're a bunch of punks and so are you. My daughter tortures Siri. She argues with Siri.
Oh, God. All right, well, listen, Joey, it's a pleasure to fucking hang with you, brother. So good to see you. Lee Syatt, lots of love.
I don't know when this COVID's going to be over. We're back on April 1st. April 1st, how did you feel? You didn't know Dick. Nobody knew Dick.
Yeah.
We're right back there. When I got the call yesterday that Brea wasn't going to open up to July 15th, first of all, I didn't want a weekend because I didn't want people to see me after, fucking for Christ's sake, Chappelle was rusty.
Yeah.
Chappelle was rusty, Well, I can't imagine. We're going to go on 4 months without being on stage. So
I've never gone more than 2 weeks in 31 years.
Come on, guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
2 weeks.
So I just want people to know that, I'm thinking about them. I know you're having a hard time right now. These people were rushing to open up businesses. Go talk to them. Their businesses are making $150 a day, these restaurants.
Yeah, right.
The money ran out. People are conscious. We're going into hard times, and I want to let people know I got you, man. Like, I'm here for you emotionally. There's no debtor's prison.
Yeah.
They don't put you in jail for debt.
Right.
So knock it off.
Right.
Take the stress out. Everybody makes comebacks. In 1991, I had a car with nothing in it. And then it took me 10 years to get another car. And then they towed it in 2001. And they towed my house. Listen, this life is about peaks and valleys, man. And they're going to have good times and bad times.
Right.
These are one of those times. I know a guy right now, personally, that the last 5 months of his life have been hell. From wife having cancer to losing a mother. The last 5 months for him have been like a train wreck. People's lives are changing.
Yeah.
People are tapping out of this business. Managers are quitting. You
Yeah.
know, people are. Lee and Jimmy Schubert and Steve Simone walk every day, and it's a running joke amongst them. It's not how many miles we walked; it's how many moving trucks we saw today.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a fucking reality. People
Wow.
are going, you know, and every month, you know. So now we're gonna go up to July 1st. That's 4 months without nothing coming in. And
Yeah.
these pure Americans are paying rent.
Right.
They're getting disenfranchised. You know, I'm not traveling because I'm a pussy about COVID. I just want you to know this, and I hope you're thinking about this the same way.
Yeah.
Because you have children.
Right.
I'm not traveling because of the uncertainty in public right now. Let me ask you a question. What happens 2 weeks from now? You go to Texas, you go to Dallas, which you've been to 1,000 times, and as you're getting on the plane, that's the day they're deciding that they're gonna go up to Seattle with the fucking National Guard with tanks and just roll down the street and kill all those people. 'Cause
Right.
something bad is gonna happen up there.
Yeah.
You do know that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we're not even thinking about Seattle.
It's not even
That's
in the news. It's just quietly
not-
sitting there.
That's not going to end well.
Yeah.
So the day that they one morning, and it will come soon, where they're going to deploy somebody. It's not going to be Seattle police. It's not going to be the National Guard. They're going to deploy somebody. And they're going to run down that street with a fucking tank. It's going to be the worst brutality.
It's going to be
you've ever seen in
Tenement
your
Square.
life. And you're going to be in Atlanta or Michigan. I don't want you there. I love you too much as a brother,
Yeah.
because that's the day everybody's going to go out and start throwing rocks.
Yeah. Right.
You know, now I'm going to go to a comedy club. I'm going to force 300 people in there. And, bro, I don't know what those 300 people are thinking.
Right.
I don't know if they're there on their credit card. I don't know if somebody robbed somebody to get there. What if in the middle of one of your jokes, somebody pops up and says something? What if a guy gets up and hits a woman's chair and her husband's having the worst week of his life, and he decides to tell that guy to fuck himself, and now you have a fist fight during your show?
Yeah.
I'm expecting, if they keep putting comics on the road, I'm expecting any day now for a comic to get hit with a brick
Right.
or a table or something like that. The tension is there. Now I'm going to put 300 people together in a comedy club where it's
Yeah.
supposed to be funny and jokey, but there's a drink that's going to spill. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I bless all the comics that are going out there. I'm going to sit tight with my family.
Yeah.
I tested negative for the antibody, so
Yep.
I took a blessing, and I'm going to ride this out here nice and safely and try to work on the best hour I can. So when the road is open, I'm going to go out there and light them on fire.
And you got that one-man show you've been working on too, right?
That's dead.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Who the fuck's thinking about a one-man show
Right,
now?
right.
That means audience. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's over.
Right.
It's over.
Right.
The one-man show has now all been put into the book.
And what about the how many days a week you doing the podcast?
2.
Okay. That's good.
Podcasts a week.
Right.
You're not overbearing. You know, obviously guests are hard to come by these days. People
Right.
don't want to do this. People don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to change different formats of the podcast. And now the podcast is just something I want people to take their mind off of. I don't want to talk about COVID. I don't want to talk about what's going on with comics. I'm trying to get the podcast to be a goof fest again.
Yeah.
Farts, people passing out.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I know you didn't like that, but that's what we need right now.
Yeah.
You know, goofing, being ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, I stopped saying anything. It's African American for me now.
No shit.
Nothing, yeah, not even black. That word black should not be used.
Wow.
You know, meanwhile, you're cutting Christopher Columbus' head off. That was the best picture in the world, by the way.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They cut his head off in New York City.
That's great.
They just cut his head off in
That's
New York
amazing.
City. I decided that, you know, we got to clean up our backyards before we could go out there and try to fucking be Johnny Change the World.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's African American. And I've been teaching my daughter that since day one. She never said black.
Yeah.
But whenever we have a discussion, I'll say that African American person.
Yeah. There you go. Joey Diaz. Turning it
I love
around
you,
a little
brother.
bit.
I love you, Irish.
I love you
Stay
too,
black.
man. Wish we were here
Yeah.
in person, but it was good to at least talk to you over the Zoom for a while.
I'll call you in about a month, and we'll do mine, check in on you, see how you're doing.
That sounds great.
All right, my best to you and your family.
Thanks.
Sorry you had to cancel the Cuba trip. They were waiting for you.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for setting that up, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
My aunt was going to get your dick sucked by the best dick sucker in Cuba. She's 58, and she's missing like 8 teeth. And they say she rubs them with a little gummies, and she plays congas at the same time. They had plans for you, but I'm sorry. Best blowjob in Cuba. She's 58, 59. It's like an hour ordeal. You leave there, you file for divorce immediately, because she lets you know what a blowjob is. She twists your dick around. She uses it like one of those wrist things. You know those wrist pumps you had in the fucking 70s? I'm getting my wrist stronger. She twists your dick around and she tongue licks your balls at the same time and sticks a finger up your ass. It's tremendous. The best blowjob in Cuba. You missed it.
I think I read about it in TripAdvisor. Yeah.
Yes, it's the best. 10 stars. She's not that good looking, but once she starts sucking, forget about it. She juggles your balls. She takes. I heard she pokes your balls with 2 fingers like an eye poke. It's tremendous. I have to try it myself. I keep forgetting.
Shaves her eyebrows and looks you right in the eyes the whole time.
Oh my god! And she lets you shave an eyebrow while you're getting your dick sucked. Pluck her eyebrows. She likes pain. You know what I'm saying? Get me off here before we get locked up, please.
All right,
I love
Cuba. God bless you.
God bless you.